Hello everyone and welcome to a first episode of RealPulse Check. In this episode we'll be speaking about the Dubai real estate market and how it has developed over the last 2 years. We have a special guest with us. We have Kieran Burley. He is heading our agency department here at Sterling, and Kieran has multiple years of working in the real estate market, not just in the UAE but also in Europe as well. Kieran, thank you for joining us. Maybe you can quickly give them a quick introduction.
Yeah, so I've been in the UAE real estate market for just over 17 years now. I started out in commercial sales and leasing with a developer in JLT. So I started off in events and marketing for a year, and that was in the boom time of the market. And then obviously 2008 happened and changed my role significantly. I moved into a sort of a customer relation role, which is still the best experience I think I've ever had, because I had dealt with just about every kind of complaint you could imagine. Yeah, and then moved my way into the sales and marketing for commercial real estate. Then joined Astico in 2013. So I spent 10 years in the consultancy, transactional background, working on sales and leasing, and then eventually development plots for sale, and understanding more about the development cycle for clients and strategic advice really, and how to dispose of assets and stuff over the years. And then happy to be here in Outland Sterling in the last couple of months. So just finding my feet, but really excited about challenges ahead.
Really appreciate it. So, Kieran, so post-pandemic, we've seen pretty much the Dubai market has picked up quite well, and there's been record-breaking number of transactions recorded by the Dubai Land Department. Any reason why all of a sudden the Dubai market has just picked up over the last couple of years? What makes it different? What makes it tick, and what makes it different to other real estate markets around the world?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think people from outside the UAE, it's like for foreign investment, have seen how well the government handled the pandemic.
Yeah.
Not just the forced lockdown, and I think people are hopefully a lot more well behaved in Dubai. They obey the rules of the government. We had that strict lockdown, but we were back into work, and after just 2 months, the rest of the world struggled to recover. I think the availability of the vaccination, it wasn't just for the select few; it was made available to everybody from day one, and it was very quick. The delivery system was very quick, and I think people have seen that and thought, wow, it's a really, really well handled compared to a lot of the other countries. So that's probably one of the major reasons. I think then the country turned around and delivered the expo, and then we had 24 million visits from outside the UAE. I think people learned that wow, this place is really, really obviously handled that pandemic well. It's a very open tourist attraction. There's a lot more to do here, and I think it changes the perception of Dubai as a whole. The other thing will still be the low barriers to entry for business. Yeah. So people can still see that there's value here in terms of you've only got 5% VAT. There's still no income tax at the moment. In capital, of course, corporate tax is coming in, but at 9%, or 7%, 9% is a lot cheaper,
still lower
than the rest of the world. Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't realise that Dubai, in terms of real estate price per square foot, is still a lot cheaper.
Yeah, in comparison to London,
in the top 30 cities in the world, it's like 30th place. So
you're right.
There's still some value to be had there.
Fantastic. So you've been watching the trends very closely. I know there've been some surprises again in the last couple of years. What do you feel are the major buyers in the market right now that you've seen, that you've noticed?
I've noticed, but also did a bit of research prior to this. So the UK, India, and Russia. Yeah, I think Russia's probably the biggest in terms of foreign investment. Yeah. I think a lot of the UK and Indian buyers are already here. Yeah. I think there's people that have probably realised that Dubai, and a lot of people I know I speak to say, Dubai is like a 2-3 year plan for me, get away from my home country, do something different. But I think now it's becoming a lot more open long term. Sure. I think the golden visa is a massive, massive reason for people to stay here longer, and businesses, and 10-year visa for 2 million dirham investment is incredible. So so the UK market, I think there's probably people that are fed up of paying rent. The rents are going through the roof again. It's very hard the rental cap is still there, but there's some places it's really, really affected people. And I think now also coming out of the pandemic and realizing that they're staying here long term and look to buy. Sure. Same with the Indian market really. And then Russia, obviously, with the fallout from the, sadly the war, and then it's broken out there. I think they're looking to move money and come to a safer place.
Of course, every day, we're noticing some, different types of transactions taking place in the market. Mostly, some of them are record-breaking and so on. Apparently, super luxury is not enough. Now they are introducing ultra luxury as well. Yeah. We're hearing numbers, as high as $150, $200 million. Can you give us just a very quick snapshot of 2 or 3 recent transactions that have taken place in the market, and are we going to continue to see this in the future?
That's another good question. So there was actually a transaction yesterday in Mars Al Arab next to the Burj Al Arab, where an apartment went for 420 million dirhams, and that's 6,000 or 8,000 square feet.
420
million,
for an apartment.
Yeah, it just replaced the previous record was I think in January or February. Bulgari Lighthouse apartment, the penthouse there sold for 400 million. And I think there was a lot of news about the deal last year for allegedly Ambani bought the 600 million dirham villa on the Palm.
Okay.
There's also been a release recently, Nakheel have released Como Residences, which is 24 apartments, full floor apartments on the Palm, and they're selling at 30 million. But for the ultra luxury, there's there at the moment, I think as I looked this morning, there's about 5 or 6 listings for residential units that are 400 million dirhams plus on Property Finder, and people will buy it. So
we're going to continue to see this then, Kieran?
I think it'll continue. As long as they build it, they will come. They'll buy it. I think so. There's so much available opportunities here as well to build these new luxury developments. There's still so much land that's undeveloped.
Okay.
So we'll probably see some more crazy villa transactions.
Really?
So I think maybe Barari and around that area. I think you're going to see some more developments coming up in the future.
Do you think land selling will be one day behind one of these transactions? Inshallah.
Inshallah. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Fantastic. So we have some what they call fire questions or rapid questions for you. The best or worst leadership advice you've received?
I think I'll go with the best leadership advice I've received instead of the worst. Yeah, to believe in your own abilities and be confident in decision making. I think I've seen, especially living in Dubai for such a long time, that there are people in these really high level roles that don't like to make the decisions. But I think that's probably the best advice I've received. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Number 2, in your opinion, what is the most important personality trait or strength someone would need to be successful as a real estate broker?
Resilient.
Okay.
And committed. 90% of the job is about facing rejection.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a lot of brokers in the market. There's a lot of property in the market. And it's not as easy as I think a lot of people from outside maybe think that the phone rings, you pick it up, it's a guaranteed sale. The market is booming, but it's really the brokers that put the time in, put the commitment in, and and really learn. I think you've got to constantly evolve and you've got to constantly learn market trends and then understand your market. I think this is.
Do you think being ethical would keep you long term in this market?
Yeah. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people, sadly, over the years that, they don't last very long. We get found out very quickly, and especially now with the market maturing, with the land department, with the regulation that comes into play, you're gonna see less and less of that sort of behaviour.
Okay, so this is another good one. So what is one piece of advice you'd give to someone starting out as a broker?
Learn the market. Just learn, constantly learn. There's so many great tools online. Maybe Property Finder, they've updated it so much over the last few years that you can learn trends, prices, activity, where the leads are going and where the money's moving to.
Okay.
You've got Land Department has fantastic statistics. DXB Interact, another website which has all of the transactional data. So you can, if you're selling an apartment to someone, you can tell them how much that apartment was sold for previously, how much the rent has been on that apartment over the last few years. So you can give them much better advice on proper advice on returns instead of saying 87, 8%, I don't know, but you'll be able to have a more accurate figure. So just to keep learning and keep studying.
Okay, so last question is, in your own words, what is the formula for success? Meaning, how quickly can you get a Lamborghini and drive around MENA?
The formula for success, I think, is to network, take every opportunity you can to learn from people in the market. I've been very fortunate over my career, especially at Stico, to learn from people that have been in the market for 20 years and in different countries as well. And obviously yourself and your brothers as well, you've been in the market a long time. So always ask questions of your seniors as well. I think that's probably that's the quickest way to learn.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Kieran, and wish you the best with your team. I know you're putting a team together. Hopefully, we get to see more transactions from yourself and your team in the market. And let's hear more from you in the upcoming episodes as well.
You will. Thanks. Certainly will. Thank you so much.
Thank you.